College football playoffs, bowl games we actually care about, opening lines. We're just a little under a month away, but we have spreads, total points, and money lines to review here. Before I get into the numbers, I have to say congratulations to the Army Black Knights, finally picking up a win for the first time since 2001. The game just ended a little bit over an hour ago, and speaking of which, I have to say once again, thank you to all the servicemen and servicewomen who are currently serving and who have served. We love you and we thank you for your service. Moving forward, we did in fact have some action on the 117th annual Army-Navy game. I have winning picks on both the spread and the line. I did in fact pick Army plus the points as they were getting 6 to be exact. Speaking of the points, well, Army didn't need them, winning the game outright 21-17, giving us wins on the spread as well as the under 47 total points. You can find my original picks on my YouTube channel under the title College Football Army-Navy 2016 Pick. Speaking of picks, I'm not making any of them this show, but what I am doing this show is equally as important, if not more important, than the actual pick itself. I'm talking about college football opening lines, also known as the first step in making the perfect pick. We must do proper research and line development. It's a small step in gaining as much information as we can obtain about a game. Speaking of games, let's go ahead and get into them. 1 versus 4, New Year's Eve. I'm talking about the undefeated SEC champs, the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Pac-12 champion 4 seed, Washington Huskies in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Going back to the Huskies, they opened up as the 14-point underdogs. No surprise there. On the other end, the Alabama Crimson Tide is favored heavily on the money line, laying $850 to win 100. The total points opened up at 55 total. Both teams are good against the spread. The game's at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. We will see who I pick in this one in my next episode. Speaking of next, let's take a look at our next playoff game. I'm talking about 2 versus 3, Ohio State versus Clemson. The Clemson Tigers take on the Ohio State Buckeyes on New Year's Eve, immediately following the Bama-Washington game in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Now, on a side note, both games will be broadcast on ESPN. Back to the game, the Buckeyes opened up the betting as the 3-point favorites while laying 150 units on the money line. In regards to the total points, the betting opened up with the over-under at 61.5. The game is at University of Phoenix Stadium, so they will be indoors. That said, it's possible we could see a lot of scoring in this one. Furthermore, from what I've seen thus far, it looks like a lot of the money is going on Ohio State. Will I let the others sway who I pick? We'll just have to wait and see in my next college football playoff pick show. Speaking of next, I got to talk about one of 2 bowl games outside of the playoff that I actually care about. That's right, I'm talking Rose Bowl, baby. USC and Penn State. When it comes to the Nittany Lions, I'm a huge believer in Coach Franklin, and you just can't help but be intrigued by this team. The number 5 Penn State Nittany Lions take on the number 9 USC Trojans at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The Trojans opened up the betting as the 6.5-point favorites while laying 285 on the money line. The total points opened up at an even 62. The game will be played on January 2nd, 2017. Moving on to our next and final opening lines for this episode, I'm going to take us back into 2016 for the Orange Bowl game between number 6 Michigan and number 10 Florida State. The game's going down on the 30th of December at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. Michigan opened up as the 6-point favorites while laying 255 on the money line. The total points opened up at 56.5. Well, folks, that's going to do it for some opening lines in college football bowl week. Remember, although I did not make any picks this episode, I'm a sports betting enthusiast, not an expert. Please feel free to like me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, both at Brock Page Productions. Thank you for watching. Best of luck to you.